welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm V. I'm so excited for today's video. We're gonna be doing a 24-hour readathon, and I haven't done this in a long time, like over a year. I'm pretty sure it was the last time that I did this, but I have so much fun every single time that I do it. This is the third time, but these are some of my favorite videos to watch and to film and to just experience reading for 24 hours. My stomach is like, hurry this intro up so you can get to reading and eating breakfast. But I thought it'd be fun to see how much I can read in 24 hours as a slow reader. I do not read that fast. I think part of it is because I'm a writer, so I can't help but break things down as I'm reading. That doesn't sound fun at all, but not in the same way that I do for school, more so just in a way like picking out what I like and don't like in the novels that I'm reading so that I know what to incorporate in my own book. And sometimes I'll find myself rereading lines over and over again and character descriptions, and I'm like, that was a really good character description. What made that a great character description? Yada yada yada. So all that to say, I'm not the fastest reader, so I'm curious to see how much I can read in 24 hours. And I think I don't think there's anything wrong with being a slow reader. We don't have to hit a high number. I'm just very curious and can't wait to see how many books I will be done. That being said, I'm gonna do this like I did my last two challenges, where I have a timer set for 24 hours, and when I'm reading, the timer is counting down, and when I stop to sleep, because I am not giving up my sleep for this, I'm so sorry, I will pause it. I'm gonna try to finish this in 2 days like I usually do. Like, I'll go as long as I can on day one and then finish it off the next day, but we'll see how that goes. But that's my goal. But I'm so excited. We're gonna have such a cozy, fun time. And let me show you what's on our roster for books that we're gonna read in this video. This is his chair. He simply lets me use it. Okay, so this is the TBR that I picked in my last video, where I let TBR jar prompts pick my reads for the month of February. And these are so heavy. These are all the books we picked. And I don't know which ones are gonna read this challenge, but we're gonna find out soon enough. And then we have my current read, which is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I think I'm a little further than where this bookmark is, because like I said, I've been going back and forth between this and the audiobook. Okay, I'm on page 208 of 347. Oh my gosh, I literally am so tired that when I opened that page, I started reading it. Like the last page. I almost spoiled this for me. It's okay. What I saw was not a spoiler, but could have been bad. Anyway, I don't have a lot of this one left, so I'm thinking like finish this off during breakfast. And then to choose my next one, I think I'm gonna ask you guys over on Instagram, like I'll do a poll so that you choose between, I'm not gonna give you all of these as an option. I feel like that's overwhelming. I feel like the key for 24-hour readathons is to start off with the heaviest to absorb books, if that makes sense, because by the end of it, you're like kind of dead and you need an easy read. I like really want to read Powerless, but I don't know if I should condense my read of it to one day, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I feel like Fourth Wing was another fantasy book that I was really excited to read, but because of how chunky it was, I read it so spread out, like over the course of quite a few months. And because I still rated it 5 stars, I still loved it, but I feel like I didn't get the full experience, because sometimes I'd start reading and I'm like, what happened? I forgot what like things happened. So maybe I read this all in one sitting, but then again, you know when you have a really good book and you like look forward to reading it every night or like every chance that you get? I feel like it's gonna be this book, and I kind of want to savor that. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do. This is why I'll leave the decision in your guys' hands. I'm gonna put Powerless as an option, and I kind of want to read a spooky-ish book, so I'm gonna put The Writing Retreat as another option to start with. And I'm not feeling a romance right now because I just finished Check and Mate. I'll do those two as an option for the first book. So it'll be in your hands. Without further ado, let's do book one. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook of this while I make breakfast because I'm so hungry. Okay, let's set our timer for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Page count right now is 0. Let's start. Check and Mate is a young adult rivals to lovers romance by Ali Hazelwood, about a girl who thought she was done with chess until one big win against a top player throws her back into the game and into an unexpected romance. I think what I love so much about Ali Hazelwood is the amount of times that I catch myself like giggling or like kicking my feet. Like, it's just, the characters are so cute, and she does a really good job at creating tension between the characters. Like, I'm more than halfway through this book and these characters haven't passed, like, they haven't hit the point where they're admitting their feelings for each other, obviously, and it's just like every part of me is like, oh my gosh, I want this to happen right now. She's just so good at creating emotional and physical tension, and I'm like, so cute. We have 22 hours left on the timer, and I'm going to continue to read this and hopefully be able to finish it. It says I have 3 hours left of the audiobook, so we'll see.
Then he's silent, as though he's afraid to spook me. That'll change my mind. He doesn't seem to notice, and I hate him. I feel clumsy, a lumbering
Only Ali Hazelwood could have a character have the love interest say a chess line during the first kiss scene and have it be so hot. Like, ah. This is so, oh my gosh. I am eating this up. It's so good. On the hunt for energy drink and snacks. I've never tried this brand before, but I kind of want to try it and see if I like it. Okay, we got everything that we needed to get. I am parked at the most random area ever just because there are no cars around me. But guys, update. I paused the timer. I would show you the timer, but I am now filming on my phone because I did not bring my camera with me. But pause the timer. We're at like 20 hours and something. So it took me 4 hours to read Check and Mate, which is crazy because it was only the ending part of it. And some people read an entire book in 4 hours. Not me. I knew this from my last challenge and it takes me around 3 hours to read 100 pages. So this kind of checks out because I had like 100 pages left and I was doing other things while I was reading and listening to an audiobook. So I was pausing it. Like, it makes sense that it took 4 hours for me to finish it, but that's so slow and kind of giving you a little insight, giving us a little insight into how the rest of this challenge is gonna go. But we are done checking me. It was literally so good. It was so fun and refreshing. And this is a YA romance and it had just the right amount of cheesiness. Like, I love a little bit of cheesy in my romance novels, but it didn't feel too young. So I loved that about this one. Also, it was so fun. Sorry, this is blinding. It's blinding. Ooh, the lighting in here. It was so fun to dive into the world of chess. I did not know as much about chess as I thought. It literally is a sport and there's so much to it. It was so fun and exciting the way she explored this whole chess world while also developing the romance, and it went together so smoothly, so nicely. I loved the characters in this so much. Nolan is definitely a good swoon-worthy love interest, and Mallory felt so relatable. I loved her so much and them together. And I was smiling so many times during this book because Ali is so funny. Like, this was so, the banter in this was actually like phenomenal. Like, it was just so good. I reserve my 5-star ratings for books that I literally want to like inhale and have it be a part of me, stick with me forever. And I absolutely loved this, loved her writing, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars because I don't think it's, this is really bothering me, you guys. I don't think it's quite 5-star book for me personally. I wish I could, you know what? It should be a thing. Everyone's like, oh, Goodreads should have 0.5, 0.75 ratings. I agree. There should be 5-star ratings and then like God tier ratings. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I want to rate this a 5 because the book itself is a 5-star, but to me personally, it's not like an all-time fave, and I reserve my 5 stars for all-time faves because if I rate this a 5-star, then what does that make my all-time favorite books? Like, what would I, and people, I know people go 6 stars, but they're only 5 stars, so I feel like there should be 5-star ratings and then you have like, I don't know, guys, something like that. But we're gonna give it 4.5 stars. It was so cute, fun, refreshing, and she needs to write more YA romance. This was so good. It was closed door, by the way, but I'd say the spice level is a little bit higher than a regular YA. I mean, who am I to define regular, but from the ones I've read at least. So that's something to keep in mind if you do want to read this, but very cute. And now it's time for me to grab my phone, check the poll, and see which book is winning right now for the next book to read between Powerless and The Writing Retreat. I'm gonna be so honest. I'm so excited to read Powerless, but I kind of want it to be The Writing Retreat just because if I'm mood reading, I'm more in the mood for a thriller. I haven't read a good thriller in so long. I love thrillers because I feel like if there are any books that I could just sit there and read in one sitting, it is a thriller. It's not a book I want to slowly digest, slowly absorb. It's the kind of book that I'm like, I need to know what happens next. Please and thank you. And that's also the best feeling while reading, and the concept, like I said, is so interesting. But Powerless, I'll have that exciting moment where I'm venturing from the before into the during, and then we'll have the after. Like, I don't know why, for a book that I'm looking forward to so much, that's so hyped, it's so exciting to go into a book knowing that you know nothing about it, but you are about to experience it for the first time. You know when you like read a good book and you're like, oh, I wish I could reread that for the first time. I get to have that exciting moment where I do experience it for the first time, and I know it would be really good. So I don't know. So you know what? I'm glad I'm putting it in your guys' hands. Let's see what you guys chose. Alright guys, the verdict is in. I brought both of the books with me because I wanted to hold it, and I was like, potentially I'm gonna go to a cafe to read or read in my car, so I brought both. But the one you guys chose is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I am so excited. That was such a close call. Oh my goodness. Literally under 5% of a margin. So I'm gonna have to hold this up here for the lighting. Wow, I can control the lighting apparently. Oh, no, I can't. It's like that moment in a movie where someone gets it's that embarrassing moment for the heroine or the hero where they like show their power. No one believes them, then they try to show their power, and the one time that people are watching, they can't do it. It was. Oh gosh. Okay, this is so awkward. Anyway, this is the book that you guys chose, which is The Writing Retreat by Julia Barnes. I'm actually so excited to read this. Oh gosh, guys, it's so awkward. This man was behind me while I was trying to make the light. He witnessed me doing that whole power thing. Ooh. Anyway, surprisingly, I'm okay. You know, my heart is racing, but I'm very excited to read this. I'm gonna start reading it right away because it's looking like we might have to go into 3 days of doing this if I don't start soon, because I paused the timer when I finished check and mate, so it is not going right now. But my voice is shaking. I didn't expect the person to be right now. Anyway, guys, my plan was to go to a cafe to read this because I feel like I've been a hobbit recently. Like, I don't know what it is, but after graduating, I've had no motivation to get out of the house unless my friends make plans or stuff like that. Like, it's so bad, and I think it's because I was just used to like 4 months of like constantly living with roommates and like just constantly like being surrounded by friends, which is amazing, and I miss that so much. But being back, I found myself slipping back into my introverted hobbit ways, which isn't good because as soon as I'm like out of the door, I'm so happy to be outside, and as soon as I start hanging out with my friends, I'm like, I miss you guys. But yeah, I think I'm just in my hobbit phase, and honestly, I think it's fine. I think a balance is good. But all that to say, my plan was like, oh, I'll go to a cafe and write after I go to Shoppers and get the stuff I want. I don't know if I want to do that. It's hard for me to find motivation to do things by myself, and it's too late to like ask someone. I might just like drive to the cafe and look inside of it from my car and see if there are like empty seats or if it's like overwhelming. And if it is, then I'll just drive home and read at home, and if it's not, then I'll try to bring myself to go inside. But I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, in case you didn't see what I got a Red Bull, and then I also got crispy minis. These are so good. I ate a lot of these in college. They're just so yummy, and they're like healthier, so you don't feel as guilty eating the whole entire bag, which I probably will eat the whole entire bag. So, but they actually like taste amazing. It's like a cheddar flavor, and the Bailey's coffee creamer, which you guys are propped up on right now. So anyway, let's go drive to the cafe and see if I can summon the courage to go inside. It's also Saturday. It's a busy day. It's a Saturday. There were so many people in the Shoppers Drug Mart that I barely could get shots of like the books and stuff. This is a problem. We'll overcome it. I did it, guys. Are we proud? I'm the only one in here. The Writing Retreat by Julia Barnes is a horror novel about a writer who gets invited to a once-in-a-lifetime writing retreat only to find out that it's deadly. I'm back, you guys. I was like, I need to update the vlog. I'm on page 62, and something I like about this novel so far is that it's short chapters, like really short chapters, and I love when books have short chapters. It makes me feel like I'm flying through them so much quicker, and like so engrossed so far. It's not that like plot-wise a lot of like exciting things are happening, but so far no part has felt bland or slow to me, so that's good. Like, we haven't hit the inciting incident. I don't even know what the inciting incident is gonna be. I don't even want to read the blurb to remind myself because I kind of like going in semi-blind. But our main character is a writer who has experienced writing block ever since a best friendship breakup, and now she's on this writing retreat. I think I explained the premise of the story earlier, but yeah, she's just arrived at the writing retreat, gone to meet the other girls, and they're having their first dinner with the host, Rosa, and it's bizarre enough that I'm like, I can sense something is gonna happen, and I already have my suspicions, but some of them are like so obvious that I'm like, is this the author baiting the readers into thinking that they have part of it figured out, or is it just that I'm really good and I've guessed it already? I'm very curious to see, like, guessed it already. Nothing like the mystery didn't happen, but there are already people that are acting suspicious, in my opinion. Not overtly suspicious, or else I wouldn't suspect them at all, because I feel like that's always bait, but there are subtle things that I'm like, But yeah, I've been loving reading this so far, and also reading at a cafe was just chef's kiss. I need to do that more often, seriously. The cheesecake that I ordered was amazing, literally so good. I brought some of it back, so I'm gonna eat that right now and continue to read this book. back. I also want to listen to the audiobooks so that I can continue to crochet. This is supposed to be a shirt, but I need 21 rows and this is like 4. It's taking so long because it's such a long piece, but I love holding a physical book and reading through it. So I think I'm just gonna read a bit more. The timer's paused. We're at like 19 hours or something, and then I'll update you guys soon. Okay, I'm already back with another update. I just had one of those moments where you're watching a horror movie and you want to yell at the main character, like, don't go towards the sound, like, don't do this stupid thing. I forgot to tell you, like, this already happened, but like she got invited to this retreat, to this, I mean, it's an author, it's a well-known author, but a stranger's house basically, because she's never met her before, with random people that she's never met before, and they make her sign an NDA and she doesn't even read it and signs it. Like, where is the common sense there? Why would you do that? Anyway, I just hit the part where Rosa, the host, tells them that instead of working on the novels or writing projects that they're already working on, they have to write a new entire novel from scratch, so 80,000 words, meaning they have to write 3,000 words a day, like literally at the end of the day, but by midnight I have to print it out and slip it under her bedroom door. And I'm like, that's insane. National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, for those of you who don't know, takes place in November, and it's a writing challenge to write a novel in a month, and so it's 50,000 words, so it's like 1,667 words a day, and that in and of itself is a challenge. Like, it's hard. So to make them write 3,000 words a day of a new novel that they didn't come prepared for this, they don't know what to write, is crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little like, I feel like I'd kind of love that. Okay, thriller aside, if this was like a normal writing retreat and someone said, okay, this is what you have to do, like this is the challenge, I would love to be pushed in that way, because if I could write a novel in a month, that'd be fantastic. Also, I love having goals set, and I feel like it's easier to accomplish a goal when it's not set by yourself, because you can't be like, oh, I'm just gonna push the goal back, because it's like you're with other people who all have the same goal and stuff. But yeah, I'm curious to see what our main character will write about, especially since, as I said earlier, she is currently in a writing slump. But yeah, this is getting good. Okay, so this is at the point where it's like really juicy right now. I'm like at the midpoint, and one of the things that I guessed was right. One of the plot twists, the one that I was telling you about, that I was like, I think I guessed part of it, I was right. And I hope that because I guessed that there are other plot twists, I feel like there are gonna be more plot twists, but it's getting juicy now. Okay, we're pausing the timer at 11 hours and 30 minutes to go. At this rate, apparently I'll be done at 4:30 a.m. So this definitely will be going into the next day, because the latest I go to bed is like 11:30, but I'm gonna try tonight to go to bed as late as possible. But at the same time, we'll see, because I really loved, guys, I loved waking up early this morning to read. I was having this moment. I was too busy to pull out the camera, but I wanted to talk to you guys right away, and I was like, for those of you who also watch my writing vlogs, I literally was having a moment where I was like, I'm in the midst of trying to figure out my full-time writing routine, and I think I just found the beginning of it, which is going to be to wake up early and read early in the morning before I start getting emails and texts and stuff. And it's just the perfect time to read. It's just me and my book and I, and it was just the perfect vibes this morning, especially with this book, which we're gonna have a little book club right now and talk about this book, guys. You need to hear about this book. But anyway, yeah, so I'm in the midst of trying to figure out my new writing routine as a full-time writer, and I think I want to start off my days reading. I think that's perfect. I woke up at like 7. I feel like that's a great time to wake up. Maybe I could do earlier at some points, we'll see. But this was the perfect cozy vibe to wake up with, and now we have to talk about my review of this book. This was wild, you guys. It was definitely not what I expected for a thriller set at a writing retreat in the mountains. I'm gonna start off with what I didn't really like. There were a lot of strange moments in this, and by strange I mean there was an erotic undertone throughout the novel that felt super uncomfortable and kind of out of place to me, that I was like, oh, okay. And like after the first part I was like, okay, and then it kept happening and I was like, this is weird. And then halfway through the book the plot became like crazy, like things were happening every second. And then the second thing was that there were a lot of twists, but most of them, like none of them were like oh my gosh, I can't believe that. A lot of them to me, like when it happened, I was like, yep, yeah. And I think the reason is because the main character, like us when we're reading these books, she theorized a lot. Like she was like, oh, this person seems suspicious because of this. Oh, this situation seems suspicious because of that. Wait, but that could have been this. She does it so much to the point where I'm like, now when the twist happens, it doesn't feel like a twist because you were kind of leading there anyway. Like between your theorizing and my theorizing, girl, we could have solved this mystery, you know what I mean? But there were some like minor twists that got me, and even then that wasn't a huge con for me because I did like that it wasn't just one or two twists. It was like back to back to back, like things happening. So all of that being said, this accomplished what I wanted it to accomplish in terms of tension and suspense. Like I was hooked. Every single page I was hooked. There was never a slow moment for me, which is all I can ask for in a thriller, and it kept me guessing. It's so fun and exciting when I get to play detective when reading a book. And honestly, some of the plot twists I did guess, which is satisfying. It's satisfying to be able to be like, oh my gosh, I picked up on that little detail that you put in the beginning. And overall, it was just a campy, cozy, wild roller coaster of a thriller, and I enjoyed it for that reason. So if you like outlandish, tension-filled thrillers, I think you would love this, honestly. And I loved the concept of it being at a writing retreat. That was the best part of this book. I loved their crazy high stakes that they had for writing, having to write 3,000 words a day, and then it only got crazier from there. And I loved that the author put in snippets of the novel that our main character was writing. I thought it was really interesting, and I always love when there's like a unique extra element in a book, and they were really short too, so I really liked that. I don't like when they're long excerpts of stuff. And anyway, that being said, I don't know what my final rating is going to be. I'm thinking 3.5, 3.75. I will say the graphic, descriptive, random scenes in there really just didn't do it for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. And then there were other little things that I can't really say without spoiling. So for how fun it was and how the concept, I love the concept so much, and because it really was a wild ride, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 or 3.75 stars. And now I get to do the fun part, which is look at your guys' reviews on Goodreads, because the first reviews that pop up are your friends and community, so I like to read your guys' thoughts on it, and then I'll read other thoughts too, because I'm very curious how people experienced this book. But yeah, I started the do-over just now. Actually, I'm only a couple pages in, and I'm so excited to be diving into this book. I have to go get it. It's by Lynn Painter, who wrote Better Than the Movies, which is my all-time favorite YA romance. It was literally such a cute romance novel, so I've been dying to read more of Lynn Painter's books, and I feel like this is the perfect one to read at this time because it's set on Valentine's Day, and it's February 2nd as I'm filming this, so we're really close to Valentine's Day. And also, it's like a little under 300 pages, so I feel like I can finish this before the challenge is over. Like I said, I have 11 hours left. My reading speed is usually 100 pages for every 3 hours, but now that we're close to being done this challenge, I feel like my reading might slow down a little bit. I am getting a little bit tired. I will need to take my energy drink tonight, or drink my energy drink tonight, and I might be staying up a little bit later, but I am really excited to be reading a light, fluffy rom-com. That's why I feel like it's really important to have a mix of genres available for you to read so you can mood read. I wonder if there's someone who just sticks to one genre and that's all they read. Is there anyone out there like that? I would be so curious to know, and that's okay. Everyone reads differently, and it's so fun and exciting, the different ways that we experience books. But I am so excited to read this, and we are getting through our February TBR quickly. This was our first one actually in our February TBR. This will be the second, and if we finish it, we can start the third one. I don't think I'll be able to finish 2 in 11 hours. I really don't. But this one is a time loop novel, so she relives Valentine's Day over and over again where her boyfriend cheats on her, and she constantly bumps into this guy named Nick in unfortunate ways. Nick, I'm guessing, is going to be the love interest, and that's absolutely all I know about this. The only time loop concept I've watched actually was the movie Death Day, and that movie was so good. So excited to see Lynn Painter's take on this, and I am just a sucker for a cute book. This sounds like it has all the ingredients for a deliciously cute, cheesy novel, which are my favorite personally. So I'm going to continue reading this. finished The Do-Over, and we have a little under 6 hours left of the timer. I'm not gonna lie, today I don't remember how many hours I had in the morning, but I woke up at, I think I started reading at like 9 a.m. this morning, and I kind of just kept the timer going this whole day because I don't want this to carry on into the next day. So there were some times when I wasn't reading today and the timer was going, if I'm being honest. But we have, like I said, like 6 hours left, so this will end at midnight, which means this next book I will need to crank out the energy drink for, and I don't think I'll be able to finish it, but we can get at least 100 pages in. But anyway, The Do-Over was so cute and cheesy, just in Lynn Painter fashion. Her books feel like 2000s rom-com. They're that cheesy and romantic and cute, and it's just, I love cheesy romance novels. This was a 5-star for me. It was not boring at all. It didn't feel repetitive, even though the days were literally repeating. She managed to take this plot or this concept and make it exciting, and also it added a really good layer of tension throughout the whole novel. I was really invested in our main character figuring out what she needed to fix everything that was going wrong in her life, and the romance between her and Nick is honestly so cute. But it also had some deep moments. Lynn Painter, in Better Than the Movies, tackled the topic of grief with the main character losing her mom, and in this one we also see that theme explored, which is always a strange comfort to me to see it reflected on the pages, and it was just the cutest book ever. I'm gonna put my review on Goodreads, and with that it's time to choose a next book, our final book, as this readathon comes to a close. Oh, I just shook my camera. I'm sure that did not look good. Sorry. So these are our options. I'm thinking, I don't know. I actually don't know. I think I want to start one of these two. I always read a romance and a non-romance at the same time, so either way, soon I'm going to be picking up one of these two books. But I think we're going to start with Shatter Me, and Powerless will be in another vlog, so yay, I'm excited. Guys, okay, so before I start a book, I like to be able to picture the characters in my head, and thankfully, since I hop on the hype train for books late, there are already so many like fan art and stuff like that out, and sometimes the movie's already out, so I can just picture the actors and actresses. But Shatter Me has a book trailer that I saw for it on TikTok, and now I can picture them, and I'm going to show you guys it. If you've watched it, if you've read the book before, let me know if you pictured the characters like this. Okay, just kidding. I actually do not want to get copyrighted, so I'm going to talk over this TikTok because I think that's how I can avoid getting copyrighted. I actually have no clue, guys, but this is the TikTok. The trailer is so good. Go watch it if you can. It's literally so good. The way this got me so excited to read this. I feel like book trailers should be more of a thing, or at least maybe it is, and I'm just like very unaware of it, but now I'm so excited to read this. I mean, only 14 pages in, but things are already happening very quickly. But again, that could be because of the short chapters. The last book I read, The Do-Over, also had short chapters. Guys, I love short chapters so much. It really makes me feel like I'm flying through this, and I definitely could fly through this book judging by the writing style so far, which is really easy to absorb, and the short chapters, like I said, and also it's immediately jumped into the action, which I love. That's why I felt the need to update you at page 14. Like, it already feels like I'm getting into the plot. It opens with Juliet. All I know about her, I know this is a dystopian, is that she can't touch people. Like, her touch is fatal. I don't know exactly what that means as of right now. Is it like King Midas, or like he touches someone and they turn to gold? Like, does she literally kill them if she touches them? Or, I mean, I'm guessing that is exactly what it is. I don't know. But she's been locked up for like 260 something days, she said. So like the little author's note said at the beginning, strike throughs, I don't know if you can see that, but that coupled with just the unusual inner dialogue in this is supposed to mirror her state of mind in this current state after, you know, years of isolation, which obviously is very hard mentally. So it's been very interesting to read so far, and I think the writing is so beautiful right now because of it, like because of the way that the main character thinks. Like this passage, I was like, that's beautiful. It's raindrops are my only reminder that clouds have a heartbeat, that I have one too. I always wonder about raindrops. I wonder about how they are always falling down, forgetting their parachutes as they tumble out of the sky toward an uncertain end. It's like someone is emptying their pockets over the earth and doesn't seem to care where the contents fall. Doesn't seem to care that the raindrops burst when they hit the ground, that they shatter when they fall to the floor, that people curse the days the drops dare to tap on their doors. I am a raindrop. Like the alliteration there at the end, like it's just so beautiful. And there are lots of little moments like that already so far. So guys, I love the feeling of starting a new book and just knowing you're about to dive into a whole other world. Like it's so exciting. writing. It's so exciting. And I have a whole series of this. I hope I like this first book. I have a feeling that I will. I feel like it's rare that I come across a book that I don't like. But yeah, I'm so excited. It's time to crack open our energy drink. I'm gonna drink it now rather than later because I don't want to be up way too late. The Red Bull sugar-free. I forgot how good it tasted. I love the taste of this. And we're gonna keep reading. I am gonna have dinner at some point, and since I have to make it, that's gonna eat away at some of our time. Who is Adam? Okay, she's had a cellmate. She has a cellmate like join her. That's like the first thing that happens. So this isn't a spoiler, I don't think, because it's literally like the first thing that happens. And it's this guy, but they haven't said like introduced their names yet until this page. And I was thinking, oh, this has to be Aaron Warner, right? No, it's Adam. Who's Adam? Like, they're already describing him as though he could have been like the potential love interest. Like, what? Okay. I mean, obviously I was probably being a little presumptuous because it's only 16 pages in, but now I'm like, I've never heard anything about an Adam. Who is this guy? Maybe he's lying. It's the next morning, you guys, and we've officially finished the 24 hours of reading for this challenge. It's been so much fun. I finished this, but I did get around to reading the beginning, almost to the middle of Shatter Me, and I did read a little bit more this morning because the chapters are literally so short that it's kind of hard not to binge this book. But I will quickly share my thoughts with you guys on the first 100 pages because I have some thoughts. I will say that I know that this is the first book of my multi-book series, so I know this won't be a comprehensive view of the dystopian world, of the character relationships, the character arcs. I get it. This is a setup, and we have a pretty good setup into the dystopian world. It looks like a very bleak new society, oppressed and ruled by the antagonist force in this called the Reestablishment. But right now we're limited to Juliet's perspective, so it starts off, like I said, with her in solitary confinement, and now she is in kind of like the headquarters of the Reestablishment, so we haven't gotten a very bird's eye view of what this world looks like. So I am excited to get that in future novels. I hope that that's going to be shown, but it's not super exciting right now. There are things happening, but I feel like this is more so to introduce us to the characters. We're focusing on 3 main characters right now: Juliet, Adam, the guy I mentioned before, and Aaron Warner, who is the leader of the Reestablishment right now, so the leader of the bad guys. Now I will say, you guys, I know that a lot of people are like, Aaron Warner, like favorite book boyfriend, blah blah blah. Let's just say I'm very excited. I'm anticipating seeing how this author is able to give him a character arc that makes people obsessed with him, because right now I am disgusted by him. I don't like him. I cannot get around the fact that he kills people who don't deserve to be killed. Like, she's gonna have to do a huge character arc. I'm very excited to see what happens in future books. Like I said, I'm only 100 pages in, but right now I don't like Aaron Warner. And there's another potential love interest which is Adam, and I like Adam so much. And that's why sometimes I just don't like love triangles, because it feels like I'm watching a soccer match and I'm rooting for a team, and I'm not like, oh, I don't care which team wins. No, I'm rooting for one team. I'm going all out. I'm wearing their jersey, wearing their colors, cheering for them, and it's always so disappointing when the other team wins. And that's how I feel about love triangles. And right now that's how I'm feeling, because I like Adam so much and I don't like Aaron at all. But again, these are just my initial thoughts so far for 100 pages in. I am excited to finish this, but that will be all for this 24-hour readathon and for this video. I had so much fun doing this. So to recap, we finished Check and Mate, read The Writing Retreat, The Do-Over, and started Shatter Me, and all of that within 3 days basically. I know it was supposed to be a 24-hour challenge. I really didn't plan out my timing for this one really well, but I'm excited to do this challenge again, hopefully in a smaller time frame to get a more accurate representation of how much I read in 24 hours. But this was such a fun challenge. I just forgot how happy it makes me to spend so much time reading, and I'm already looking forward to the next one. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!